to sail with trusted people. I choose this topic because sometimes this is what I hear around me. Say, well, either you're a boat owner and you're ready to welcome people, but you're not so sure. And then you don't have a boat and like to join a team, but you're kind of afraid or you don't know how or what to do to make sure that the person is reliable. And we all face these kind of issues somehow, somewhere. And this is why I just want to share tonight my my experience with you guys. Someone is trying to call me. Anyway. That's not. I'm sorry, I have a little issue here. I got disturbed by a phone call. You can still see my screen. All right. So what we're gonna do today is review the agenda. I put in a newsletter. I guess I hope you received it. Where can you meet people? Your selling resume. Sometimes some people will ask you to provide a resume, or even if they don't, what is important if you don't have a resume in writing is what to say when you meet a skipper or a captain. How to introduce yourself. Same thing. I mean, myself, the first time I had to talk to a skipper or a captain, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. And the same thing as a boat owner. What shall I say? What are the right questions? The boat, I think it's important that boat owners describe their boat properly. And then we're going to talk about the best practice. So this is a very open discussion. Feel free to interrupt me, to post something in the chat, or to unmute your microphone and talk and ask questions. It's a very friendly, open, nothing formal. We're just here to discuss and have a good time together. So that's my name, Philip. I moved to the US 15 years ago, almost 20 years ago now. I keep on saying 15, but it's in reality, it's more 17 or 18 years. I started sailing a long time ago back in France, and I now own a boat here in Rhode Island. And I created a website called Coboaters. Sorry, I have the phone. The phone keeps on ringing. I don't even know where my phone is. And I created Coboaters to help people find boats and boat owners to find crew. Before we go deeper, I just wanted to think about why do boat owners need crew? Why would someone who has a boat need a crew? Sometimes you would believe that if someone has a boat, that there's no need for a crew. I mean, why would you buy a boat if you need someone else? Well, there are a lot of reasons. And one of the reasons is we buy a boat and we say the family will come, but the family is busy, they have something else to do. Sometimes we want to learn with others because we want to have other people on board and help each other and learn from each other. There's a racing as well. And racing need a racing season, a racing team need, depending on the boat, but 3, 4, 5, sometimes more. And there's always someone missing. If you want to race every week or every weekend, even if you have 7 or 8 crew, there's always someone missing. So that's why we always need crew to jump on board. And sometimes you need crew for an offshore passage to go for a long time, for several days. And you need like special skills, like be able to be on a night watch alone. a lot of boat owners need more people just to have more fun, because it's fun to have people on board, people that you could share a good time with. And also I found out that we have, at least on Coboaters, some people who wants to spend their retirement on a boat, or a couple of years or a break year in their life, and they may need someone for the entire time of their break, or sometimes for just a couple of weeks or a couple of months. So it happens a lot that we have boat owners looking for crew for a long period of time. For example, for a month or 2 months or more, and for different locations, California, here in New England, or anywhere else. So this is why I listed, why do boat owners need crew? I think it's important you keep that in mind. There may be some other reason that I forgot here, but I think it's important to get it in mind. At the same time, why do crew or people would like to find a boat? Well, we do have in the world, and in the US and anywhere in the world, a lot of sailors without boat. I mean, that was my case for 25 years. I couldn't afford a boat. I couldn't have a boat. I was not at the right place at the right time, but I was ready to sail with someone else. Some people are new to boating, and if you're new to boating, you learn how to sail in a sailing school, or you get your ASS certificate somewhere. And what? It's hard to go sailing. So you need experience. You need to build miles. That's another reason to look for a boat. You want to have fun. And sometimes you want to be part of a racing crew. And I'm insisting on that because sometimes we kind of believe that people have to be very experienced and very good in sailing to join a racing team. It's not necessarily the case. Even if you don't have much experience, you could possibly find a skipper that would have you on board. And of course, he will teach you and you will learn with him. And it's a good way to learn. It's a good way to spend a lot of time on the boat, is to race on a boat. And if you live near a racing place, near a Great Lake, or near somewhere in New England or anywhere, you can, I would say, easily find a racing crew. Some people, for sailing is a dream. I got that a lot, and I'm very happy to hear that, because I'm trying to promote sailing. I'm trying to convince people that sailing is great. Some people are ready to buy a boat, and they say, well, I like to buy this kind of boat, or I like to buy a bigger boat than I have, or I don't have a boat, but I like to have more experience. And this is why I need to find a boat. And of course, as I said before, some people would like just to spend more time on a boat and would like to go away. I met some people that I spent months on a boat with a skipper, and then they went different ways and so on. So there's a lot of possibilities. Thank you everyone for joining, by the way, and those who keep on coming. I really appreciate that you're here today. So the topic today is how to find a boat or a crew, and how to trust this person, or this person's plural, different people, because when you sail, most of the time you're not alone. One way to do it is you have friends, you have family, or you have friend of a friend. So it's what you call a referral. And this is how I started, by the way. Someone told me, go to this place, you're gonna meet with someone, and this person will be great to have you on board. And step by step, you meet people and you create your own, I should say, selling network. So we're going to talk today of how to do that, how to find people. And again, I'm talking about crew, but boat owners as well. So friends of friends, family, it's pretty safe because most of the time you know the people. So you can trust them. Another way to meet people. Oh, great. We have people from all over the US and even Canada. So I really appreciate it. If you want to find people to sail with, and that's what I did when I first arrived to the US, I went to a yacht club. And I was surprised that this in yacht club in Rhode Island, they didn't have a board, or where in the past, like 25 years ago, we used to go to the harbor master and they had a board with kind of a sticky notes where people say, I need a crew for next weekend, or I need a, it doesn't exist anymore. But if you join a club, a sailing club, a yacht club, or any organization around you that has a sailing thing, you may be able to meet people. And if I were you, that would be the first thing I do. Then you can join a racing team. That's what I talked about. We have also what we call Crew Finder website. And of course, I'm talking about it because Coboaters is one of them. And if you go on Google and try Crew Finder, you will find several Crew Finder websites that will help you find boat owners and create your sailing network. A little bit about Coboaters is we focus on North America and we focus on local sailing rather than some other website where you find people from Poland, Croatia, Italy, Europe, trying to do sometimes find a job or something like that. So we're a little bit different because we focus on really North America. What you can do, you can join a volunteer group. If you have a little bit of experience, I put here Sail for Cancer. It's a non-profit organization, and they help people with this kind of cancer join them and sell more. So this is why you could meet some people if you go there and maybe volunteer. Even if you don't have much experience, they may help you join their crew and join their team. Another way, of course, is to go to the local marina and ask and talk around. And I would say it's pretty safe because you will know the people, you will know it's an organization, etc. So one of the websites is, I'm sorry, I'm gonna answer this. And now you can also go to Facebook. On Facebook, you will find a lot of groups, a lot of Crew Finder, Cross the Atlantic, Cross Pacific, go to Hawaii. You have a lot of possibilities there. You have also other social medias, you have classified ads sometimes, and you have meetup groups. The reason I've never personally used those things is you never know to whom you're gonna talk to. As soon as you're on Facebook, as soon as you join a group, you kind of share all your data with them. You share your name, you share almost everything. And I'm not happy with this kind of things. But I have to mention that if you really want to find someone to sail with, you may find some people here. Is it safe? I'm not so sure. Did I hear stories? Yes, I did. Um, so I don't think it's very safe to go there. Um, I will answer all the text later if you don't mind. Now, let's say you decided to go sailing. You need a sailing resume. When I say a resume, don't get me wrong. You're not applying for a job. It's not that strict. It's just how to talk to people, how to introduce yourself, and what to say. Um, so your selling resume. One recommendation that is very important is be honest. I would say even, and I think I wrote it down later on, be humble. You know, when you're at sea, there is no, how can I say that? You never know what you're gonna find. You can have a storm coming up. You can have something. So don't overestimate your capabilities. If you are subject to seasick, it happens. I think it happens to everybody or almost everybody. Just say it right away. I do. I don't understand why my boat I don't have seasick. If I go to someone else's boat, and I have seasick. It happens to me. So I'm honest with people. I say, well, I may have seasick. Most of the time, not for too long. After 2, 3 days, it's okay. But so be honest. Tell them right away. And it's always better to kind of say, I'm not so sure I can do that. I'm not so sure I can do that the way you want it. You list your main experience. You describe what you know. I know how to do that. I know how to do this. I've been doing that before. If you have certifications like ASA and so on, I think it's important to say it. Hello from Alaska. Hey, nice to meet you. You state your goal and your priorities. You probably know that sailing is very, very broad. You can do a lot of things. You can just do sailing on a dinghy and go for an afternoon sail, or cross the Atlantic and go around the world. So I think it's very important when you meet someone, when you write a sailing resume or you fill up a profile online, that you define what you want. And it can change. Today, I want to be, this year, I just want to sail in Florida. Next year, I'd like to cross the Atlantic. It's important that you understand that and you state your limits. I don't want to do that. I can't do it. I cannot be on a boat with 10 people around me. I think it's important that you mention that. So the next slides here are to give you some examples. And again, it's based on my experience on when I talk to other boat owners, other crew, and 35 years of sailing. This is what we see on some of the resume or when we talk to people. Well, I race every summer on a 28-feet Beneteau. That was me long time ago. Some people say, well, I've been racing, I've never went cruising. It's a different world. It's a different thing. Some people, they went racing, they don't know how to drop an anchor. All right, it's not a problem, but it's important to say it right away. I never drop an anchor. And it seems to be very easy, but believe me, when it's the first time and you are in a cove and you've never done that before, there's a lot of things to learn. So it's important that you share that with the people you're going to sail with. And I give you some examples here that you can read, sailing for 3 years. 3 years ago, I spent 6 months sailing on a catamaran. I never had a monohull or vice versa. Your skills. explain what you've done. And here's a story I heard. I heard one day someone saying, "Oh, I took someone on board, and this guy was amazing. He went and sailed the America's Cup." Well, America's Cup is, probably the most challenging race and the most challenging competition in the world. But the only thing he knew how to do is to trim a sail, and he was a grinder. He had no clue about almost anything else. So I think it's important you define your skills, and you know what you can do on board. Can you sail at night? Are you afraid? Are you confident? Have you done it before? Are you a beginner? It's no shame. You can be a beginner. We all started sometime. Do you know how to trim the sails? Did you learn that? Or you're not sure? Or you never sail with a spinnaker? Same it. Some skippers want to know that. So it's important that you state your skills in your resume. Well, certifications, list them all. Everything you got. ASA, US Coast Guard, navigation course, safety at sea seminar, whatever. Some people may not know what ASA 103 means, which is my case. So I'm going to ask you. Say, fine, you did ASA 103. Can you remind me what it is? But having a certification will help you find a boat if you've never sailed before. It gives confidence to a skipper. And I think it's important, even for you, for yourself, to learn via a sailing school. We can learn a lot by ourselves on the boat, and I'm sure a lot of people did that way. But if you're serious about sailing, invest some time and money in joining a club or a sailing school. You can find good things online. I have some partners on Coboaters that we give you a discount if you join us. And you can learn a few things online, which are very good. I think it's very important that you list what you did and your certifications. And what else can you do on board? Sailing is not only about the sails and the boat and the ocean. You know how to cook. Cooking is important. If you go offshore for several days, or even for, I would say, 3-4 days, if someone can cook, believe me, it changes everything on board. A few years ago, I went sailing with friends of mine, and I had few things on board, but my friend came, and we were 4, and she said, "Well, get everything out of the boat, all your pasta and your tuna cans and beans and baked beans and so on. Get everything out. I'm going to bring my own food." And she cooked for 10 days, and she had planned everything. Changes everything. So if you know how to cook, I don't know if it's because I'm French, but it's important. Do you want to participate? I have some people, I would say, honestly, I like to go on your boat, but I'm not sure about sailing. And I just want to be on the boat and can help you here and there, but I don't want to be responsible. Fine. Why not? No problem. As long as it's clear when you start the adventure, when you start going out sailing. You cannot climb the mast. Well, no problem. Why not? Do you need some privacy? Well, fine, because you're on a boat, 35 feet, 40 feet, even a 50-foot boat or more. It's not easy to have privacy. And some people, they need privacy. I'm talking about if you go several days offshore, if you decide to sail down south, I think it's important to talk about these kind of things. And I just put an example here. I can play music. Well, we all have skills. Some people, they know how to tell stories. Some people, they know how to, I don't know, make jokes. Some people, they are very picky about cleaning everything. We all have skills. And it's good to share that when you want to go on a boat. And also to say a few things about, I don't want to do that. I'm not good at it. If you need someone that could be ready to climb the mast, I'm sorry, I'm not the right person. And I think it's important to say that before you board. Again, it's a matter of trusting people. That's our topic today. How can we trust boat owners? How can I trust crew that will come and join me for my sailing adventure? Well, here's a little joke that an experience I had, and I found this a quote. I publish a quote every Monday morning on social media, so it's funny, and I'd always try to do something interesting. So that's something I had, and it's on one of my best friend boat. He has a catamaran, and I joined them for a trip in the Bahamas, and I tried to cook. I'm okay cooking, but I'm not an expert, but I can do it. So it was fun. What is your goal when you want to sail? Again, we all have different objectives. We all want to do different things. Do you want to go offshore? I'm only interested of, spending 5 days offshore. I don't want to go for an afternoon. I'm looking for a boat for local, for just a couple of hours every day. Or I can do anything. Or I just want to meet friends. I want to have a social adventure. Same thing. It's important you discuss that with the skipper and even with other crew. And some people, I know some people around me, they are very competitive. They always want the boat to be fast. And we used to say, if you have 2 sailboats, you have a race. So same thing. If you want to race and win the race, you have to say it right away. And you can have different objectives. I want to win the race in a week, and I want to cruise in a weekend. No problem. Again, the point is to find someone you can trust. How to introduce yourself? I would say this is always the question. What to say? How would you, for example, you met someone and you need to call the person. So I think it's not easy, but don't be shy. Most of the time, sailors are very friendly people. They're cool. They understand. They've been there. They started. Most of them. I mean, so nobody is too old. I sailed with 80 years old. I went to Antigua with 80 years old crew and a 74 years old skipper. And everything was fine. Everything was great. We just, before going, the older gentleman said, I need 6 hours sleep. So we arranged the skipper, set up the schedule, the night watch, to allow him to rest for 6 hours. So again, it's fine. There's no too old, no too young, not too whatever. Just explain that, explain what you want, explain what you're expecting. Be yourself. Of course, that's a common thing in life. Friendly, pleasant. Here I listed kind of 4 common mistakes that people do sometimes. Don't expect free sailing lessons. If you jump on the boat, you will learn. We learn. I learn all the time. No question. But it's not because I learned that I'm here to give you a lesson. I do it because I love it, but not every day, not all the time. So don't expect free sailing lessons. Um, I think it's important. You will learn. You will share your experience. The skipper will share their experience. They will explain how they do things on board, and you will say, "Oh, the last skipper didn't do the same thing. He didn't do it that way." Well, this is how I do it. I'm not saying it's the best way, but that's the way I like. Don't be selfish. Of course, if you're on a boat, you're here, you're gonna help. You're gonna probably do something. Don't describe yourself as a professional sailor. Uh, I did that mistake. Sometimes I overestimate my skills. I said, oh, I can do that. And then it was 30 knots of wind, rough sea, and I realized I was not good enough. So it's important to kind of be humble again and not overestimate your capabilities. Explain why you want to sail instead of saying what you can bring to the team. So explain the skipper and the other crew, here's what I can do. Here's how I can help you. If you don't know how to do that, I know how to do it. I've done it before. Again, this is important. Communication, sharing, experience. That's the good way to introduce yourself. Hey, I heard you need a crew for next week, and I heard you're going. You need someone because you need to deliver your boat, and you need someone. This is what I can do. I can help you do that. It's a good way to start the conversation with a skipper or sometimes with another crew. The next slides are about the what are the right questions? What do you need to say? What do you need to ask? The first one is crew to boat owners. I'm a crew, I'm meaning a skipper and a boat owner. So here are the questions that I would ask. And believe me, it's not because I own a boat that I don't crew for someone else. And I've done it every year. I crew for someone else and someone else crew for me. So I would say to this person, why do you need a crew? Well, I need a crew because my wife doesn't want to go 3 days or she's not available. Or my best friend was supposed to come and he cannot be available. So I need a crew. What is your goal? Do you want to go cruising? Do you want to go racing? Do you want to go exploring the world? Do you want to cross the Atlantic? What do you want to do? What is your goal? Well, my goal is just to go around the bay and come back tomorrow night. Fine. I think it's very important that the crew and the skipper share their goal. If you disagree, it will not work. I'm trying to do that more and more before going sailing. I tell my crew, all right, this is what we're gonna do today. That's our goal. Or next week, this is where we want to go. Of course, it's always weather depending. You never know if you can reach your destination. What are the rules? The rules are no alcohol. The rules are we want to be home at 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. Or the rules are I don't know. This is how I put the dinghy on, and don't touch the dinghy. Don't touch the outboard motor. That's my job. I think it's important you talk about the boat and ask about the boat. What is the boat? How is it? What's going on the boat? And a very important question, in my opinion, is, did you already take new crew on board? Did you sail with people you never met before? How was it? How was it? How, did you is everything went well? And sometimes you can say, can I talk to this crew? I mean, I say that if you go sailing for a long time, for a couple of weeks, just an afternoon sail, you may not want to go that deep. But if you, I flew to USVI to jump on the boat. I didn't know anybody on board. So before going, we had a conversation. We put a meeting online and we chat for a couple of hours just to know each other before going. So I think it's important you do that and you ask these kind of questions. Don't be shy. People will appreciate that you ask these questions prior to board. Now, if you are a boat owner, what kind of question do you ask to the crew to make sure you can trust the crew? It goes both ways. Same question. What is your goal? What is your time frame? Imagine you say, well, I retired, I have plenty of time. And then you got a crew that absolutely need to be back on Monday, October 10. You need to know that. You don't want to discover that later on. Will you be ready to follow my rules? That's something important. We all have rules on board. It's different from one boat to another. Do you have any limitations? Do you have any medical issues? And this is a part, especially for an offshore or long-term, that's something that most of the people are ashamed to talk about or don't want to talk about. But I think it's important we talk about. Do you have allergies? Do you have any conditions? I heard stories where people had, a heart attack on board just because years and years ago they already have issues, but they didn't share that with the skipper, and they were in the middle of the Atlantic, and the person had a heart attack. Fortunately, everything went well, but because they were able to call for rescue, a helicopter came, etc. But you never know. You never know. So I think it's very important to ask this question. By the way, it's not only boat owners to crew, it's also crew to boat owners. And the same question, have you sailed with unknown skippers before? What is your experience with different people? How was it? What good that not to be truthful, yes. And it's important that you talk about it before going. And safety first. I didn't put that first, but I would say as soon as you agree, as soon as you think this person is the right person, this boat is the right boat, and you are ready to go sailing together, ask about safety. Safety first. What are the PFD requirements? What are the safety equipment on board? Do you have what kind of equipment do you have? What is the communication you have? Oh, be offshore and we have zero communication. Well, yeah, I like you, but I'm not confident. I'm not sure I want to go offshore without any communication. Medical conditions, of course. I insist on that. Man overboard. Practice. Have you done that before? Do you know how to do it? Do we need to practice? We go offshore, or we go for a couple of days or more. Do we need to practice? Some skippers would require a couple of hours to practice before going, before leaving. And I think it's important that at least you talk about it. You share your experience. You share what you think about it. And if you say, well, I heard people say, I'm not confident if we don't practice before leaving. It's fair enough. It's fair enough. What is important is to bring everybody back home safe. That's the responsibility of the skipper, nothing else. Nothing else. It has to be safe. So safety is important. If you go to a different website, like I would say like Coboaters, you have a list of safety equipment on board. And I kind of ask boat owners to fill this up, or at least to share that with their crew. Alcohol, I put alcohol, but it could be, drug or smoke while sailing. Is it a rule? Are you going to have a bottle of wine every night or every evening? It's important to know that. A lot of people would say no alcohol when I'm sailing. I can drink when I'm on shore, but I don't drink on board. Again, if you want to drink every day, you may want to ask this question. It's part of the safety rules. So that's another thing I saw to my crew: be reasonable and do it my way. Most skippers have their own way of doing things on the boat. So either you agree with that, or you really want to do your way. If you're a crew, you need to decide. But most of the time, a skipper will say, that's how I do it on that boat, and do it my way. So what are the best practice? Once you find the right person, you think you can trust this boat, you can trust the crew, and you guys decided to go together and sail. Well, some best practice, again, is based on experience. It's nothing you can learn in books or anywhere else. It's based on what I hear, what I do. Ask if there's anything you can bring on board. Well, do I need to bring food? Do I need to bring ice? Do I need to bring drinks? Do you need water? Is there anything? Sometimes it's nice to bring something for the skipper and the crew. Again, food, beer, wine, you can ask, you can decide that. If you know how to bake a cake, you can bake a cake. If you know that they like oysters, fresh oysters, you can bring fresh oysters. It's important to do that. It's a good practice. So once you are on board and you meet the other crew, you may have a discussion with them before. You probably had a different exchange, emails, and hopefully some meetings together. But let others know about yourself. Introduce yourself. Tell them what you know, what you don't know, what you can do. Sail light. It's like travel light. There's no room on the boat, so the smallest bag as possible. I read something one day. They say if you want to go on a boat, you put what you need before going on in your room, on your bed, or wherever in your room before packing, and take only 1/3 of what you think is needed. So don't bring too many things. Sometimes you don't have a time to get enough room. Sail light. I think it's very important. If you go somewhere, when you can always buy something. If something is missing, you can always buy it most of the time, almost everywhere. So clean your bunk, clean your boat, clean the boat. Make sure your area is perfectly clean. Don't leave something behind you that is not nice. And help others. If they need something, you're part of the team, you're part of the crew. That's, I think, very important. On shore, if you go sailing on a boat for several days and you stop somewhere, you have to follow skipper's rules and recommendations even on shore, because you're still part of the team, you're still part of the crew, you represent the boat. If something happened to you, people will say, where are you from? and then you say, I'm from that boat, and here's my skipper. So I think it's important to behave properly when you're on shore, especially if you are in a foreign country. Don't get arrested. That sounds obvious, but I think it's good to talk about it. You're still part of the team. Be on time. If the skipper tells you, well, you have to be back at the boat tonight at 8 p.m. because of A, B, C, D, or whatever reason, be on time. And keep a good image of the boat, the crew, and the skipper. You're still part of the team. You represent the boat. It's annoying when you see another crew not behaving well when you're on shore. I added these slides for boat owners. If you want the crew to trust you and be confident, it's important that when they arrive, when they see the boat for the first time, that the boat is ready. First of all, you had to describe the boat prior for them to join. And what I did on my side is I put a little video. So I took my smartphone and I put like I don't know, 2 minutes video. I tour the boat and I explain where people could sleep, where we're gonna do this and that, and I send that to the crew prior to for them coming. So they have a video tour. You have to say what couldn't work well. Well, we know that on a boat, some of the things don't work very well. For example, I don't know, your solar panels are old, or your battery is a bit weak, or the water system doesn't work very well, and it may happen that you're gonna take a shower every day. So, or the sails are old, for example, something like that. If you know it, say it prior to get the crew on board. Make sure the boat is clean. That's very important, of course. And take time to tour the boat with the crew. Even if you send pictures before, go around the boat. I put a picture here of a catamaran because it's a bigger boat. But explain where the first aid kit is, where the extinguishers are, where the PFDs are. Explain where they can store their belongings or not. Tell them there's no space for your belongings. You have to keep everything in your bag. Take time to do that. I'm saying that because sometimes I don't, and I had people that reminded me to do it. So I think it's good that you talk about a boat. Say, for example, on my boat, I have on the starboard side is the food and everything about food and convenience, and on the port side, this is where I have the other stuff, the sailing stuff I use to sail, the books, the chart table, the safety rules, everything is on the port side. So people know that in advance, and you save a lot of time, and it's very convenient to do that. And of course, do a safety briefing, even if you talked about it before, even if if you have one of the crew that been here before, do a safety.
Could I share something real quick? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was just gonna add that I just got back from a trip where I went on a charter. I didn't know anybody, and the person that put the charter together, the reason I ended up, because I'm single female, on traveling,
Yeah.
the reason I felt comfortable is in today's world of social media, I went and looked him up and, looked for as much information as I could find. And he actually had on his Facebook page prior trips where he had done the same thing, and people that had chartered with him had commented,
Yeah.
they had a good time, can't
Hmm.
wait to do it again, that kind of thing. And that made me feel comfortable, at least about him. I was
Correct.
kind of a
Yeah,
shot
that's
in
a
the
good
dark with
point.
everybody else.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like if you do again on Coboaters, you can do that. You can write reviews, and I always ask people to do it. So if I have a crew, I ask, hey, you crew with me? Can you post if you like it, or even if you something went wrong, why don't put that online and put a little review? And the same thing as a crew, do that to the skipper. So it goes both ways.
Right. That's a good
And
idea.
yeah, it goes both ways. Um, I mean, if you guys want, we can spend some time and I can show you the website afterwards. But it goes both ways to have testimonials and reviews. I totally agree with that. It's a good point. It's also sometimes you can also say, hey, you sailed with someone before. Can I talk to that person? Do you have a phone number so I can talk to this person that sailed with you last year, for example? And he and even though you went through all the steps that I described before, sometimes something goes wrong. It could be the boat is not safe, the boat is not as it was described. It happened. I heard that. Or the behavior is not right. So don't stay on board. Either you're a man or a woman, you're young, you're old, you're whatever. Don't stay on board. And the same thing for a boat owner with a crew, by the way. It works both ways. And don't stay on board and report it. On Coboaters, we have a way to report it anonymously. So the person that had the wrong behavior, for example, will not see your report. It's going to come to us. We're going to talk to this person. We will understand what was wrong, and the person will be the profile will be deleted from the website. So it's just to give confidence and trust in the community, in the people that you talk to. So disembark. Don't stay on board if you don't feel confident. If you think your life is in danger, the safety rules are not followed, the boat is not as good as it was supposed to be, they don't have enough PFD devices for the crew, these kind of things. Say it right away and never mind, go away. I'm almost done with my presentation. So the next slide is kind of a reminder what we talked about. Where can you meet crew? Social media could be safe. Sometimes it's not safe. Go in person and meet friends. Referrals, a friend of a friend. And you can join organization. And I put it here, you can go to Coboaters, of course. And again, for those who are interested, we can talk about it later on. Next, your resume. Be honest. Explain what you can do and what you cannot do, because it's not that easy to understand. Be humble. We all know that when you're at sea, you're in the middle of nowhere sometimes, and you better be not overestimate your skills. Don't talk about talk about other skills than sailing. You can play music, you can cook, you can, I don't know, do anything when you're on shore, for example. You can help with this because you've been to this country before. I've been there before. I've been to Europe. I can help you when you're in Europe. Don't worry. I speak Spanish. I don't, but let's say I speak Spanish. So if we go to somewhere in Mexico, I can help you when we're on shore. Don't talk only about sailing or boating. Talk about something else. I think it's important. The first impression is very important. Don't be shy, be friendly, have a conversation, ask questions. And this is the end of my presentation for today. So I hope you enjoyed the webinar. And if you have questions or want to share any experience, anything you want to share, I'd be happy to hear and have a discussion with all of you guys.
Very good.
All right, thank you. If you want to, if you have, I can go to the website. If you do have some times. Oh, my shiny is paused. Okay, it's paused. I'm trying to share my screen, but it doesn't seem to work. Please stay on. Okay, what do you, all right, so now I'm sharing my screen, I think. So if you're interested, I can show you the website real quick.
Sure.
So it's called Coboaters. We're based in Rhode Island. We focus on North America, Canada, US, and the Caribbean. We have few opportunities in Europe as well, like in Greece, in UK. But the difference with other websites is that we want to help people sail locally as well, and not only for offshore or long distance sailing. This is my profile, as you can see here. And the way it works, it's pretty simple. You do have what we call notices here, where because I'm a boat owner, I can see people looking for boats, and also other profiles here. And as you can see, I don't see the name of the people. There's a lot of privacy. I see just the first name, and I can, for example, click on this. What do you call a notice? I mean, someone is ready to sail, and if I click on it, I can see the dates and what is the goal of that person. I love to jump on board, learn more about sailing, etc. And then if I think this person would be nice for my sailing, I can see the different data here, talk about the sailing experience, the boarding certificates, etc. And either this person fill it up or not, that depend on each and every individual. But then I can contact these people and say, I like to send a message, and I can send a message. So I can share my phone number, which I don't want to do it here. I can share my email address if I want. So there's a lot of privacy, and it's a good way to contact people and start chatting with them without sharing your information. If you want to find members, you have a member directory here, sorry, where you can see the different people available. And then I can also what we call see notices. And here I can see both opportunities, both and crew opportunities, boats looking for crew. So I have someone here. I can see the boat, someone in North Carolina, for example. And I can click and get the details. Day, weekend, week trips in New Bern area, etc. So this is someone who's trying to find crew and need crew around this New Bern. And I can find information about the boat. So what kind of boat it is, 2001, Benito, etc. Here is the description of the boat. And then I can go into more details and find it has 5, 3 cabins, etc. So again, that's back to what we were saying earlier. It's to give confidence to people, describing the boat, describing the opportunity, the dates that are available. So this person wanted to have someone for the entire season. Some people, they just want to look, they look for a crew just for a weekend. It all depends. This one, Jamestown, Rhode Island, again, the entire season. And it's pretty, this is catering. So you can check details and find, and there's a review. So she sailed with someone, actually she sailed with Paul, and Paul says, I sailed with Catherine, etc. So I can see his name here, Paul, because I know him, he's in my contact list. So that's why I can see his name. But if he's not in your contact list, you will not see his name. And to be in a contact list, the other person needs to agree. And I can see Paul profile, and he has 7 reviews already. So, and this person say, oh, maybe that could be a nice person to join me for my next sailing adventure as a boat owner. Paul is a crew, and great if I can check with him. So I can send him a message, and I have different templates here. Thank you for contacting me, asking for availability. Hey, are you available? And I can send him a message right away and very easily. So this is how it works. There are a lot of other things on this website. Like you can see the boats that are recently join us, the new registered boat, for example, that we got this past few days: Washington State, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Virginia, Maryland, etc. So you can see the newer boats, few pictures here, and we have a forum as well where you can ask questions to the community. You can talk to different people and ask questions here via the forum. The way it works, you can create a profile for free and start chatting with people. And if you want to join and have access to everything, it's $5 a month, or if I remember well, $25 for 6 months, and $45 for 1 year. And when you join the club, you can choose different gifts. Like, for example, you can have free tickets to a Newport boat show, free tickets to Annapolis boat show, etc., etc. So this is how it works. Again, it's pretty easy. It's a good way to build a sailing network. You have to use this tool to meet people, to communicate with other members. And honestly speaking, once you jump on one boat with someone else, then the person will call you for the next season and say, hey, I've done that. Do you want to join me for next season, etc. This is how it works. And I created that because, again, when I moved to the US, I didn't know anybody. And in the past, we could just walk to the marina down the road and meet people. Nowadays, it's not the case anymore. And the younger generation, they find things online as well. So it's one way to help people sell more. And that's why I started that 18 months ago.
Philip, I just saw myself on your screen.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Who's
my
that?
Jorge Gonzalez.
Ah, yes. Are you happy to? Okay.
Right there. Jorge.
Yes, it's because I communicated with you, and that's why I see your name. But you see that this
That's
person.
me right there. That's me right there.
Okay, here you are. So I don't see your name because we haven't talked to each other
Right.
yet via this. I have two profiles on the website. I have one profile for my own selling things and one profile as an admin,
Got it.
the administration. That's why I have two profiles here.
I have to complete my profile and put my certifications and more of my resume on there.
Yeah.
I have a question, if you don't mind, while we're on this page.
No, okay, of course, go ahead.
At the top of the page, when you go to right there, that first set of lines, crew finder opportunity search, the departure port. Like let's for example say that I'm available in a general area, not necessarily for a passage, because I'm thinking departure port, is going on a passage somewhere else. But let's say, for example, I'm available for crewing opportunities to go from Miami or South Florida to the Bahamas or to the Florida Keys, or sailing just around Miami. What's the best approach? And
Yeah, so there are
what if
different
it's
ways.
not a specific date? Like I'm available
Mhm.
in a broad time frame.
Right. So you just put departure Miami. You don't put, because that's why we said here, I'm lucky, because to find the exact date would be, and then
Right.
you just do that, and that's how you do it.
Okay.
So the software will look around and say, all right, we may not have anything from Miami itself right now, but what do we have around Miami in Florida, for example, or not too far away? Okay. Now the other way you could do more filter here, and you're looking for boats looking for crew, and you can have a port, and you can say Miami. Oh, sorry. Miami within a radius of, I don't know if you're ready to drive 100 miles.
Sure.
Just saying, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
that's one way to do it.
Okay.
Okay, and then you can do the search.
Or a regional area. There it says a regional area.
Correct. You can say regional area as well. So boats looking for crew in regional, in mid-Atlantic or South Atlantic.
South Atlantic, yeah.
Okay.
That's a big region.
It is. Yeah, it was very hard to decide which regions, believe me, when we started that. It is. I know. But if you put a departure port and put a radius here, that's one way to tune your search.
Okay.
And if you're happy with it, you can save it. You can save your search here. You can save it, name of search, for example, South Atlantic. Sorry. Oops. I think I click. Save. I have to do it again. And you save it. And then if you go to my profile here, you have my saved searches. You can see I have 9 of them, because sometimes I want boats around Newport because that's where I live.
Right.
So I can view, and directly, I don't need to type it again. Here are all the boats that are around Newport, Rhode Island. So you can have your searches saved like this. It's kind of very convenient. It's very easy. You just have to put save to do the filters here, and then go to save.
Good.
So you don't need to type it each time you want to do it. And then I put some shortcuts as well here. Sending crew, well, there are the crews, but I tried to put some shortcuts here as well.
Yeah.
So you can do that. You can also, because we have boat owners and sometimes they don't publish notices. So you can go and find boat directories. And here you have the boats. And you may be able to find a boat that is around you. And sometimes people don't publish notices. So you may want to contact this person, for example, right away.
I see.
You know what I mean?
I have a boat myself, and I mean,
Okay.
my main purpose for being on Coboaters is to expand my normal boating
Yeah,
activity.
like me.
Yeah, I mean, I have a sailboat here in the Miami area, and I usually go weekend sails with my family, but I want to do more, and my family doesn't. So, you know, I want to do, you know, passages to the Bahamas, go to the Bahamas for a week, go down to the Florida Keys, and my wife is like, no, 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 you go.
Yeah, no, but I have the same, I have the exactly same issue. I mean, the same thing. And I would say, I don't know the percentage, but the majority of boat owners have the same thing, which is fine, I would say.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sailing this weekend, and it's the same thing. My wife doesn't want to come, and I'm gonna sail with Coboaters with two other people I met on Coboaters, and we're gonna go around the bay for 3 days.
Very nice. I'll be sailing this weekend also, Sunday to Monday.
Nice. Where are you going?
Just in Biscayne Bay, in Biscayne. I have sailing right by where the Miami Boat Show is. You know, I
Oh, yeah.
always sail, and we have we anchor out in different little harbors. There's a place called Hurricane Harbor. It's close to a lot of people know No Name Harbor, which is very famous. It's a takeoff point to go to the Bahamas. But Hurricane Harbor is right next to it, and it's a lot quieter. That's probably where I'll go this weekend.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, the one way to find crew, because I mean, some people we believe that it's easy to find crew, but it's not. To find the right people and to find the people that have enough time and are available. So the only way to do it is that's what I said earlier. Don't be shy. Send emails, send messages to people. If you want on Coboaters here, messages, you can you see this is all the people I created, and again it's for my own setting thing. It's not the admin. You can create a template. So you can create a template asking for availability. For example, I'll show you what I did, which here you go, I will correct. So you can create these templates. How are you? I'm interested in sending with you. Can you tell me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You create this template message, and then you can send it to a lot of people. So you don't need to type it. You don't need to type it all the time.
Very good tool.
That's. Thank you for contacting. You know, I have a few different templates that I created here because it saves me time to contact people.
Excellent.
And that's the way it works for a lot of boat owners that I know about. And as soon as you have someone selling with you, ask this person to post a review for you. And like I did, the way to do it is you publish a review here,
Hmm.
And you can do that for them as well and say, I don't want to do it now, but I want to publish a review for this person, for example. And I can do that here. And well, this person is an observer, so I'm not sure I can do it. Yeah, I can. And start. But I can't do it because she's not a member. So was it a good experience? Ordinary, I do not recommend, etc. Most of the time it's, and you can say this person was a crew member, skipper, teammate, whatever, etc. You can give some details. It takes less than 5 minutes to do it.
Okay.
And it helps. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help the crew. Because as the other person said earlier, once you have a recommendation, it's easier to sell with the person. Do we have other questions or anything you'd like to understand or to talk about? All right. Then
Thank you for your time.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for your time. And if you have any question or anything, you have my email address. I'm here to reply or to help you as much as I can. Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.